Hi, this is Vijay Katta, and today I am going to discuss the addressing scheme which is used in our computer system. So, in our computer system, basically we use four type of addressing scheme. First one is called as a MAC address, or we call it as a LAN card address. This address is implemented on data link layer. This address is represented by 48 bits. Now, second and most important addressing scheme is called as the IP addressing scheme. This is called as a logical address, and this address is implemented on the network layer. Currently, there are two versions of IP address are available. First one is called as a IPv4 address. This is a 32-bit addressing scheme. Second addressing scheme, which is newly implemented, it is called as a IPv6 addressing scheme. That is a Internet Protocol version 6. It is a 128-bit addressing scheme. Third addressing scheme is called as the port addressing scheme. It is implemented on the transport layer, and we use a 16 bits notation, decimal notation to represent the port addresses. And fourth one, that is called as the application specific addressing scheme, and no specific format has been defined. Now today we are going to discuss about IPv4 addressing scheme. Now we use a 32-bit notation to represent IP address. Now there are two categories. That is, one is called as a classful IP address, and another one it is called as a classless IP addressing scheme. Now, initially, when INA has started to distribute the IP addressing, they follow classful addresses. But with the times, it observed that all IP addresses, that is nothing but 2 power 32, has been occupied, and no IP address is available to assign to any new organization. So we use a one modified or called as a logical scheme, that is called as a classless IP address. Now, first of all, what do you mean by a classful IP addressing scheme? Now, in classful IP addressing scheme, we have categorized 2 power 32 addresses into 5 classes. That is called as a class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. Class A, Class B, and Class C addresses are called as a unicast address. Means this address can be assigned to your machine. Class D is particularly implemented for multicasting, that is called as a group of people. And Class E is reserved for the future and scientific purpose. Now start with the Class A IP addressing scheme. Now Class A IP addressing scheme start with 0.0.0.0, and it theoretically aimed at 127.255.255.255. Now, just keep one thing. This address is called as a loopback address. So it means this address is basic. It is a special purpose address. It means practically class A start with 0.0.0.0, and it ends at 126.255.255.255. Uh, the default mask for class A is 255.0.0.0. This default masking is basically used to represent how many number of bits are used to represent net ID portion. Actually, IP address is divided into two parts. First one is called as a net ID portion, and second one is called as a host ID portion. Now, next point. Class B start with 128.0.0.0, and it ends at 191.255.255.255. Now, first two octet, that is nothing but 16 bits, are used to represent network ID, and remaining 16 bits are used for the host ID. Similar pattern, the masking for class B is 255.255.0.0. It means 16 bits are used for the net ID portion. Next class is called as a class C. That is, it starts with 192.0.0.0, and it ends on this mentioned range. Now, next thing, in class C, total 24 bits, 8 bit from this octet, 8-bit from this octet, and 8-bit from this octet. These are used for net ID portion, and only 8 bits are used for host ID portion. It means if any organization has around 30 computers, then we will assign class C address, or the organization like Hindustan College or any organization which has a uh, more number of computers, then we use a class B address. So class D and class E has already discussed in my previous lectures. Now next point, this is a summary. IP address has a two portion. One is called as the network ID. Second one is called as the host ID. In class A, we use 8 bit for net ID and 24 bits for host ID. Class B, 16 bits are used for net ID and 16 bits are used for host ID. Total bits are 32. Similarly, in Class C, 24 bits are used for identification of network ID and 8 bits are used for the identification of host ID. It means in the Class C, there are 2 power 8 means maximum 255 computers can be attached on a particular network. Now, masking, or sometimes we call it as a subnetting or submasking, basically represents how many number of bits are used in your IP address for identification of your network portion. Now, for classful addressing scheme, each organization has a unique network ID portion. It means if we assign a particular network ID to one organization, then we cannot assign same range IP address to some another organization. For example, if 150.38.0.0, this is a class B address. We have given this address to particular one organization, then this address range which starts from 150.38, this is a network ID portion, and 0.0, this is a host ID, to 150.38.255.255. This range cannot be assigned to any other organization. This is an important point because IP address is basically used to identification of the network, and each organization has a unique network ID portion. I hope you understand this concept. Now there is a small assignments for you. For example, question number A, 12.3.3.3. This is the one IP address is given to you. This is the one IP address given to one computer. Identify the network address of this particular machine. Problem number 2, 200.200.10.250. This is a one IP address. Now you had to identify the first machine address. That is a what is the first computer address of this range. Okay, thank you.